Hello and welcome to this edition of FiTV. I'm your host, Brad Swanson. We are coming to you from the first day of the 2021 Florida legislative session. We're literally across the street at the Capitol, and we are here at the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association, which they're letting us use to tape these great interviews. Christina Johnson with On3PR, thanks for joining us. Longtime friend of the shows and longtime friend. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the invitation, as always.
Yeah, no, it's great. So you're one of the leading communicators in the Capitol. People come to you to hire your firm to make their messages sound great to the legislature. Talk to us about what are you working on this year?
A couple of great projects, and like you said, it's a little different this year. We're used to the traditional fourth floor press conference, but now we're doing a lot of things virtually, and I think everybody sadly is getting used to that. But we long for the day when we have a fourth floor press conference. So hopefully by the end of session we'll have some live action.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, working on a couple of great projects. I mean, you heard today Governor DeSantis. I think 2 years ago when he had his State of the State address talking about environment, a pro-environment governor. And today you heard from Wilton Simpson, Senate President, and House Speaker Chris Sprowls, that they're also committed to the environment and clean water, and coming out with the certainly flood rising, sea level rise, flooding, which is a very important issue to Floridians, homes, businesses that are in those flood zone. So a couple of good projects. We're working with Pew Charitable Trusts on the Flood Resiliency and Taxpayer Savings Act. So we're doing that federal legislation, educating folks. And then we're also doing something with Property Assessed Clean Energy Program, the PACE program. So that's getting your home ready for hurricane season.
Right.
I don't know if you noticed, just this couple days ago, they were thinking about moving the hurricane season from June 1st to May 15th.
Right.
So no better time to get your house ready for hurricanes than taking advantage of that program. And another good thing about that is they're looking to expanding that program for those from septic to sewer, which is really going to be good for the environment. And both the House Speaker and Senate President have mentioned that, as well as the governor. So a really good pro-environmental clean water legislation. I think everybody will back it.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, as a leading communicator into the Capitol, we know COVID-19 is that oxygen stealing issue that's going to take it up, and there's probably one or two more that are going to surprise everybody. How do you communicate? How do you advise your clients to communicate into a building that you can't even get into?
You can't get into, right.
You know, how are you advising your clients to get over those hurdles, to get their messages into the minds of legislators?
Well, one of the good things the House and Senate's allowing folks to do is submit testimony. So what we're trying to do is get that testimony in the hands of the people, in the hands of the media, just so if you're not able to go in there in person, you still have your voice heard on record. And sometimes that's a little easier because as you write something, it's your message a little more tailored than if you're rambling on in a speech. So you get those facts out there pretty quickly and succinctly, and that's been helpful in getting the message out.
Well, a long time-tested challenge of somebody that does what you do is controlling your client's message, so because unintended consequences of a misplaced syllable or phrase, and so that must be a little better for somebody like you.
It's nice to stick to paper and cut and paste, and you got the facts right there on paper.
Amazing, amazing. All right, any other issues we need to know about coming out of On3PR for this session?
Well, I tell you something that we're really excited about. It mixes politics and public policy, and we just now here have down the street at FSU called the Institute of Politics. The website is iopfsu.com. And it's really just something that was started to promote civility, bipartisanship.
We need that.
We do, and especially I love this that we're talking about this on the opening day of session, and certainly after January 6th. But this is something, their webinars, their podcasts, they're just starting the conversation, and it's being run out of FSU Social Science and Public Policy School. Dr. Tim Chapin, Dr. Hans Hassel, Bradley Kyle, former Republican Party of Florida Chair Al Cardenas is also part of it as an adjunct professor. Just last night we had former U.S. Senator Mel Martinez speaking with West Virginia Democrat Senator Joe Manchin, and talking about the civility, and it's not all gloom and doom, and even back in the days of Mel Martinez when it was a 50-50 Senate split and Vice President Dick Cheney was the tiebreaker, Joe Manchin is in the same position, 50-50 split with Vice President Harris as that point, and just talking about how you can still have a civil conversation.
Right.
You don't need to attack people, but it should be about the issues. And so that's kind of the good things that we're talking about.
I tell you what, you think about, the next generation of leaders, they've grown up in such and I'll say a much more hyper-partisan environment. It is needed to be taught this civility, which I think folks in an older generation like me, not you, of course, not you, of course, but we grew up understanding the words of civility, and we heard that from our top leaders in the nation. We might disagree during the day, but at the end of the day, we come together as friends and as Americans, more importantly. So what an important message to be carrying, obviously, to the legislature and across the state of Florida.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Well, thanks for being a friend of the program, being a friend of our industry, and thanks for all that you do for the multitude of clients that carry their message into the Capitol, and we'll look for your messages over there.
Well, getting through here. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Brad.
That's all the time we have for this interview. For more interviews like this one, hit us up on our social media feeds. And for now, thanks for tuning in.